It's Tuesday. It's 10 a.m. We're going to have some coffee and conversations. Today's topic, Lent. Lent begins tomorrow, if you weren't aware of it. Typical evangelicals aren't always aware of it. But I thought it would be, as my title says, maybe, yeah, sure. Was that too clickbaity? I don't know. Clickbaitiness is interesting. What causes us to click on things? Anyhow, let's talk about some announcements. If you did not grab a meat stick, you had to get at least 2 on Sunday. So hopefully you grab some. The youth are trying to raise funds for their upcoming spring retreat. So we'd love for you to grab some meat sticks and help support them to go on a retreat time and help cover some of the costs for those who want to go on it. I was actually going to eat one, but on video, but Shannon and Lance took them home because they thought, well, John might eat them all. So I haven't even had one yet. I didn't bring cash on Sunday, and so I couldn't get one. And I tried to tell Lance, I will gladly pay you tomorrow for a cheeseburger today, and he didn't go for it. So make sure you grab some meat sticks, help support the youth. If you're going to buy meat sticks anyways, just buy them from them. They're actually, I think, cheaper than what you would pay for if you got them at Costco or any other place, and then you help the youth on their retreat. So we would love for you to consider grabbing them. And speaking of fundraising, raising funds for things, we would love for you to fill one of these out and put it in the acrylic box in the foyer of your commitment to setting the stage. If you have committed yourself to giving a one-time above and beyond gift or an ongoing above and beyond gift to this campaign, we would love to know by having you put it in the box. There's only going to be a handful of people that see it. I don't even know it. Cindy's going to give me a report that just has the numbers. And so we would love for you to fill these out and put them in there so we can plan and know how long it will take us to reach this goal. Hope that this goal comes quickly and that we are able to start these things soon. So maybe you're getting a big tax refund. You're like, I didn't know what I was going to do with this. We would love for you to consider giving a portion of it or all of it if you want to the Setting the Stage campaign to help us prepare for the future with the master plan and the new piano and the classroom upgrades and the picnic table cover. That's that way in my field of vision. That's that way for me. I don't know if you think of it that way for you, but that's where it is. We want to do these things to prepare ourselves for the future, and by your generous above and beyond giving, we can help make that a reality. So we would love for you to consider giving that prayerfully and ask the Lord where you could go above and beyond in that capacity. If you have water in the word for Allison, yes. And Jill says the meat sticks are really good. So grab them on Sunday and enjoy. There's a ghost pepper one that the Barkmans didn't get that I asked them to see if in the next round of ordering if they could get, because I want to lay down a gauntlet challenge for maybe some of the youth or Lance. We'll see if we could snap not a Slim Jim, but snap the ghost pepper one and see how long we can last without water after eating it, or without milk or ice cream or something. I bet Lance would beat me. Anyhow, I wonder if Brian would beat me. Who knows? So we'd love for you to help support both those endeavors. Please prayerfully consider giving to both of them, going above and beyond just your regular giving. We want to dedicate. We want to be prepared for the future, and the youth are the future. And so, night of worship is on Friday at 7 p.m. Hope you're planning to join us. It's going to be a great time as we kind of do some throwbacks. I wish it was happening on Thursday, because then we could call it Throwback Thursday, which is an old Twitter hashtag thing. But it's going to be Friday. So Throwback Friday, Friday Throwback, TGIF. Ooh, who remembers that with Urkel and Step by Step and full house. I think those were all on Friday. Anyhow, men's breakfast is on Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Ladies, I hope you'll remind your men. Men, I hope you'll plan to join us. Ladies, don't forget to fill out the women's ministry survey and drop it off Sunday morning at the church building. And then lastly, that's a lot of announcements, is we have class 101 on 3/23. Hope you'll plan to participate or encourage someone else to participate. If you want to, you can register online, or you can register by connecting with someone at the office or Pastor Joel. So let us know if you would like to participate. Hope you plan to do that. All right, so let's think about Lent. I didn't pull up a scripture verse because, let's be honest, there's actually no verse that supports the idea or supports directly doing Lent. But we do see throughout the Bible and throughout history that fasting is a positive thing. And when we think of Lent, you most often think of the Catholic practice of the 40 days leading up to Easter. It's not actually 40 days. It's more than 40 days because you don't count certain days. And anyhow, I think so. Now I'm questioning after I've said that. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. It's a period of time set aside from what is known as Ash Wednesday, which would be tomorrow, leading up to Easter, as a way of preparing our hearts for the Lord to celebrate Easter. A way of preparing our hearts to celebrate Good Friday. And if we look at Scripture, there is this practice, there is this habit of intentional fasting for periods of time. When you think of Esther and the Jews facing the extermination due to not Mordecai. Mordecai's her cousin who's trying to help it not happen. Haman, what do? Esther appeals to the Jewish people and Mordecai to fast on her behalf before she goes into Theme. Allison says, I have a Catholic friend who does not like fish. Yes, when you're Catholic, you are supposed to you're not supposed to eat meat on Friday, but you can have fish, which as a non-Christian growing up and having Catholic friends, I always thought that was strange because in my head, fish was meat. And you can eat fish on Fridays because Jesus caught the help. Jesus didn't catch the fish. He multiplied the fish and he used fish and the disciples fished. Anyhow. And that's why, did you know that's why McDonald's has filet of fish during Lent? They don't say it's for Lent, but they just miraculously, the filet of fish, it gets promoted during the Lenten season. Anyhow, we see throughout Scripture that there's this understanding, this expectation that believers from time to time in different seasons will fast. Moses went up on the mountaintop and he fasted. We see Esther and Mordecai and the Jews fast. Daniel and his friends, they fast, but not in a total fast. They fast from certain things. Then we see Jesus in the wilderness. He fasts for 40 days, which we could probably say, okay, that's where you would get the 40 days leading up to Easter. Jesus commands his disciples to fast. Notice I said that he commands, because he says something specific when he talks about fasting. He doesn't say if you fast, he says when you fast. So there's an implied command in that. Just like when he says when you pray, none of us argue about, well, then I wonder if I have to pray. No, we're commanded to pray. I think there's an expectation throughout the Bible that we will fast. Now, sometimes we need to reorientate that depending on our health. For some people, to fast in a food fast would be unwise because of certain health elements. Like if you're diabetic, fasting for 24 hours is probably not a good idea. I'm not a health professional, so I can't tell you one way or the other, but if I understand insulin and that in any way, shape, or form, fasting for 24 hours might not be a good thing. I'm not sure. You could talk to your doctor about it. We also see that in Acts that they, on multiple occasions, they fasted. I was reading Acts 13 the other day. If you're in the Bible reading plan, that was last week, and I'm like a week behind. And you know what? I might get a little bit further behind. But in Acts 13, the church in Antioch, they fasted and prayed, and then they set apart Barnabas and Paul and sent them out. So we see throughout Scripture this practice of fasting without any maybe direct command to fast. So what do we do with that? We have the freedom to do it. I think there is great spiritual benefit to it because it causes us to go through periods of lack, and it causes us to remember that we need to depend upon the Lord for things. It's good to keep our bodies in check, to train our bodies for righteousness, the Apostle Paul says. And so we want to use an intentional giving up of food for that purpose. Now, we could also fast from other things. We could intentionally give something up. Now, part of it to realize is that it's not just for the sake of like, well, I just got to give something up. It's not supposed to just be a subtraction. It's supposed to be it's not supposed to be a purposeless subtraction. If it's a subtraction, it should add, or it should we should replace it with something better, or it's a subtraction with a purpose. So part of one of the benefits of just doing a physical fast is it reminds us when you get that hunger pain in your belly, you think, oh man, I need to depend on the Lord more. And so maybe you could consider during Lent, during the time leading up to Easter, you skip lunch on a certain day, or you skip lunch every day. Some of you might already intermittent fast, and you're like, that's no big deal. Maybe you do a whole day instead of just part of a day. You give something up, but with the purpose of something. I think so often when my mind of what when I think of like growing up, my Catholic friends, what their families did for Lent, it was like, well, we just got to do it because the priest says we got to do it. That's a purposeless thing. We want, if we're going to undertake something for a fast for Lent, we want it to be purposeful. So maybe it is physical fasting to remind us of that hunger. Maybe it's we give up a meal on a specific day to pray for something. Maybe you give up breakfast Monday morning to pray for the church and pray for things like this to grow and to go, to that God would use us to help each other grow and to go and send people out. Maybe you use the time to pray for those who we were trying to raise for aid and assistance for, those types of things. So maybe you spend some time intentionally praying for that. Maybe you give up a meal and you pray for missions work around the world. Or maybe you give up watching the news or something and you decide, I'm going to read a book instead. That's going to draw me closer to the Lord. You find something to give up with a purpose. We don't do things just to do them. It's not rote. We are called to be purposeful in our actions, and everything that God commands us to do is purposeful. And when we look at the people of the Bible, when they fasted, it was for the purpose of setting themselves apart for the Lord, or to spend time with the Lord, or increase their dependence upon the Lord. So yes, Jill pointed out that here is what you specifically do from Ash Wednesday. So you Ash Wednesday to Maundy, Thursday is 46 days, and then Good Friday, Holy Saturday, you do not fast on the 6 Sundays, and that's how you get to 40 days. So friends, I would encourage you to prayerfully consider what is something you could give up, and purposefully redirect your thinking and your attitudes and your perspectives to the Lord. There are a variety of things you could do. Don't just do something like, Allison, it doesn't count if you give up coffee for Lent. Jill and Karen, it would count if you gave up coffee for Lent. But consider something you could give up. Maybe you give up diet soda. If you drink diet soda, maybe you give up diet soda and say, okay, all the money that I would spend on diet soda this month, I'm going to give towards missions to go overseas or something like that. You could find a way to purposefully give something up for your heart and your in the kingdom and drawing you closer to the Lord. So when you think about Lent, what is something you could do? I just want to encourage us to consider that. And Allison already gave up diet soda, so I don't know. Give up candy. Do you eat candy, Allison? I don't know. Give up chocolate. But what could you give up purposefully? That's the key here, is as we consider it, we want it to be something, since it's not commanded in Scripture, we want it to do something that will be beneficial to us, something that will build us up and draw us nearer to the Lord, not as a works-based righteousness, because we cannot earn the Lord's favor. He loves us the same amount every day. The day we're at our best, the day we're at our worst, he loves us the same. You cannot make him love you more. I think that's where so often our Catholic friends struggle. They think it's kind of earning the Father's favor, and we can't earn the Father's favor. Jesus already did that. He took care of that on the cross. He died a propitiatory death for us. So we live in light of it. We live in light of his grace, and we want to draw near to him. Okay, so yeah, see? All right. I'm laying down the challenge, Allison. Can you give up chocolate for 40 days? I'm kidding. You just consider finding something that you could give up purposefully to draw you near to the Lord. And you want help with that? I would love to talk with you about it, give you some things you might consider, or maybe you consider reading the Gospels every day between now and Easter. You read all of them and prepare your hearts for celebrating what the Lord did on that magnificent weekend. So, Jill is taking me quite seriously. She's giving up coffee. All right. That's well done. Okay. All right, friends, that's all I've got. If you need anything, you let us know. We're praying for you. Hope to see you Friday at Night of Worship as we sing to our God's great graces and declare his majesty and pray for those who don't know Jesus to come to know him, and maybe a variety of other things. We declare how great God is and that the world needs to know him as we prepare our hearts to lead up to Easter, the greatest weekend ever. Okay, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you Friday evening.